Ego is so dangerous. Boo! Ego is probably the most dangerous of all the emotional stumbling blocks that we've been covering in our 5-part series. We've talked about jealousy, we've talked about judgment, and we've talked about insecurity. Insecurity is the father of all of these. They're all linked by insecurity. Where there is jealousy, judgment pretty much soon follows. But today, we are talking about ego, what it is, why it matters, why it will block your sales, while it will keep you from those incredible opportunities that are meant for you, why it will ruin partnerships that are meant to bless you beyond measure inside of your business. You are going to love this episode, and I am here to bring you so much joy, so much encouragement, so much love. As I mentioned at some point during this 5-part series, in the Bible, the Apostle Paul called himself the chief of sinners, and I will call myself the chief of insecurities. And I say this because I'm working on it, and I've realized that oftentimes my business has not grown to new heights that I really wanted to because of these emotional insecurities. And now I spend my time helping my high-level mastermind clients with these on a personal basis inside of their business. And it's a lot easier to handle these now and recognize them now and see why there are such big dangers in building your business so that you don't suffer the consequences later on when you actually have a big burgeoning empire. And if you do have a big burgeoning empire, I love you so much. I'm so grateful you found this podcast episode. And I want to encourage you that it's never too late to wrong the rights and to heal your emotional wounds and insecurities. And if you've built your business this far without addressing these emotional insecurity issues, you have no idea how much more blessings are available to you once you decide to change things just a little bit. So let's get right into what the ego actually is. I like to say that ego is false pride, and it's a know-it-all attitude, better than you attitude. And I feel like this is really important because I grew up in a very incredible faith-based household where it was preached over and over again that pride comes before the fall. Where a lot of faith-based communities misconstrue this idea is that you shouldn't share your wins, that you shouldn't tell people about your accomplishments, that you shouldn't brag about things. And I feel like it's really more is about a heart issue and your intention of why it is that you're telling people about these things and why you're bragging about it. If you're bragging about it to put other people down, to tell them that you are better than them, yes, this would be the ego. This would be the know-it-all. This would be the false pride. This would be the I'm more loved and more worthy of God's adoration than you are. That is not good. That is exactly who the Bible is talking about when it said pride comes before the fall. However, if you are sharing your story, if you're sharing your wins about the goodness and the grace and the love that God has bestowed upon you inside of your business, if you're sharing that because you want other people to know that they can do it too, you're sharing that to encourage, to uplift, to empower, to share your story, to tell people that you are not special, that you put on your sock and underwear the same way as they do, and that they can do it too, then by all means shout from the rooftops and be proud of what you are doing and what God is doing through you and with you and to help you inside of your business, growing your business, to give your gifts and give your service to the world. Never stop, never cease doing that. There's just a big difference between the two. And the truth is we allow the ego to get the best of us inside of our business because of insecurity, because we feel like we're not good enough. So because we feel like we're not good enough, we are trying to inflate ourselves with our ego, to puff our feathers, to make ourselves appear bigger and better than we actually are. And that is not the place that you want to do inside of your business. And I found myself starting to do this a little bit when my book first came out, and it never, thank you, Lord Jesus, that it didn't get to the point where it was like really, really bad. But I have felt myself at times where it's almost like you're towing this really fine line, this thread of like, am I being boastful, or am I truly proud of what God has done? Am I proud of my accomplishments, or am I rubbing in other people's faces? And here's how you know if you are or if you're not. If you're using your accomplishments to judge why you're better than other people, then that's ego. If you're not using your accomplishments to judge other people and you're using your accomplishments to share and celebrate, then you're not. That's a very easy, clear lens for you to use to decide and decipher if you are letting your ego or not. Now, here's where ego really, really, really starts to wreak havoc inside of your business. It's in growth. It's in learning new things. It's in allowing other people to bless you. And one of the most humbling experiences for me this last year or two was when my professor from Florida State University, Juliana Baggett, she did my mastermind program privately, Born to Slay. And I was pretty much awestruck that she gave me the opportunity to do the program with her. She did it. And having your teacher go through your program when, and I went through Florida State University to become a screenwriter and a playwright and author. I am author, right? I do have a book now, Confident, Unleash Your Inner Badass. However, I don't have any produced screenplay credits. I don't have any produced television shows. I'm not in Hollywood right now. So it's deeply humbling that she trusted me with my skill sets, my strengths, and what I could offer her to help her when she went on her own journey to start her own production company, going from author, poet, she's everything. She's so incredibly talented, to running a really incredible production company with her son, Finn. And it was such a humbling experience. And I often say that the people who rise the furthest in business are the ones who have the least ego, because they will learn from anybody. They don't care. They're just hungry for knowledge and wisdom, and they will take knowledge and wisdom from whoever will give it to them. They don't care who it comes from. They don't know how it comes to them. They're going to use it because they just want to be the best and they want to grow into the best. And that is the mindset, and that is the mentality of Juliana. And I love her and appreciate her so much for that. I was at some conference or some online training, I can't remember which it was, where they're talking about the 3 stages of learning. And that stage 2 was the scariest and the one that you want people to grow out of the quickest. Now I remember who it was. It's my friend Megan Kuthine, Ops Badass. And I actually have a podcast episode with her. You'll definitely need to check it out. It's called Cliff Jumping in Faith Inside of Your Business. And she was talking about how when you hire someone, they have that honeymoon phase where they know nothing. And so they double check their T's, they dot their I's. They really work hard to make sure that they're not missing anything. They're not making any major mistakes inside of the business. Then they go to stage 2. Stage 2 is where all the mistakes are made because they think they know everything. So they don't double check their work. They don't make sure things haven't changed. They are not as dialed in and focused because they have this know-it-all kind of attitude. That is where the most mistakes are made. Then they enter into stage 3. Stage 3 is when they've probably made a mistake at this point and they realize they don't know everything and they don't want to make a mistake, and they still love and appreciate all the knowledge they do know. I am very grateful that God gave me a really special learning opportunity when I was assistant store manager for Kohl's department stores. Our jewelry sales were not doing so hot. And I remember, I'm a big proponent of co-creation. And I remember asking God, I don't care who it comes from. I don't care how it happens, but I really need your help with this jewelry thing because I'm tired of seeing the negative numbers. I'm tired of getting asked questions about it from my store manager. I am in over my head. I'm running 5 departments. I'm in charge of 44,000 square foot of retail space. I'm only 23 years old and I have 70 direct reports, 100 and something indirect reports, and I just really need your help. And I remember not too long after that prayer, because there is a switching of the mode from asking to receiving. I was walking the floor with one of our point of sale supervisors. She was part-time, really sweet, very kind. And she said, "Have you walked your jewelry departments?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "I can tell you why your sales aren't very good. I can tell you exactly what you need to do to improve." And I could feel my body recoiling. I really took it as judgment. And here's the thing, our ego is what caused us to think other people are judging us when other people are really just trying to help us. You can't receive help if you think that you know it all or you think that you're doing it all right. You have to be humble to receive help. And that's why the humble people go further faster in their business than everybody else. But I could feel myself wanting to get defensive and not wanting to answer or respond. And could also feel myself starting to enter that judgment phase, which if you haven't listened to that podcast episode or that YouTube video, you need to listen to it. But it's like I could feel myself wanting to judge her and say, who are you? How do you know anything about this? You're part-time. You're an hourly employee. This isn't even your full-time job. I could just feel all these judgments rising out of myself. And I could really like hear God's voice inside my head saying, didn't you ask me for help? I sent someone to help you. Be quiet and listen to the wisdom she's about to give you. And as it turns out, when I dropped my ego and said, sure, tell me what you have observed and what you would suggest, her family used to own a jewelry business. She grew up in the jewelry industry. She walked me through the entire jewelry department and gave me a very simple, very, very simple, actionable list of things to do. It wasn't very long. It was very simple. It was like, make sure that your collections are together. Make sure that the bracelet and the necklace and the rings are grouped together. Make sure the tugs are tacked and they're not sticking out. Make sure that you have things grouped together like this, displayed like this. It was very great advice. That was all we did to change the jewelry department. And we had the highest sales comp increase out of any store in the entire region of 75 stores that holiday season. We got awards. It wasn't because I really did anything. I just asked God for help, dropped my ego, listened to the person that he sent, and then just acted on it, implemented it. And so I want to encourage all of you business owners to make sure that you're not letting your ego get in the way. Let your team members speak to you, even if they don't have as much experience in the industry. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what knowledge they possess. You don't know what help they can offer and give you. Let your vendors give you knowledge and expertise and wisdom. Let your clients give you knowledge, expertise, and wisdom. I have this one client who I love and adore. She's worked with our travel business for a very long time. She's had a lot of different of the agents have worked with her. And she's always grateful, and she always says that she loves our service, and she always tells us how we can improve. And at first, it really felt like, why are you telling me how to improve? If we did so good, why are you telling me how to improve? And I realized that that's a huge sign of love. A huge sign of love is caring enough to tell someone how they can be better because you want to see them grow and go as far as they possibly can. And so number one is drop the know-it-all, drop the false pride, and allow people to bless you with their wisdom and knowledge, no matter who it comes from, where it comes from, how it comes from. Be eager and willing to listen and implement. Your business is going to go so much further. Number two is that when you are in an ego state, that is when you'll make the most mistakes. I already highlighted that, but I remember there was a great example of this in my travel business when I really felt like I had everything dialed in. I knew what I was doing. I was teaching tons of travel professionals how to book Walt Disney World vacations through Wanderlust Campus. In addition to being the mindset expert, I had a great team. Sales were increasing. Like I really felt like I had everything nailed down. And then I got the wrong dates for a client. I was on their final call before they left, and they said, hey, the dates are wrong for this vacation. Can you change them? And y'all, I couldn't change it. This was during COVID. So there was a very hard and fast rule of park pass availability for Walt Disney World. I couldn't change it. I had to tell them they could not go. Luckily, we used heavy doses of grace, heavy doses of forgiveness, and God was so good. And they were very happy with going to Universal instead of Disney, where they did have availability. But that is when you make the most mistakes, is when you have that ego. The third one is anytime you have ego, it's a sign that you have a weakness. It's a sign that you are insecure about something. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a weakness. A weakness exists so that other people can bless you. And so God can bless you. Because if you were perfect, if you had all of your stuff together, then people couldn't love you and there would be no room for God's love. We often view our weakness as why we are not lovable or not worthy or why there's something wrong with us, which is the truth is when you can love your weakness and accept your weakness as being an opportunity to receive grace from other people and blessings from God and from other people that he sends, now you're in a really incredible sweet spot in your business to grow and scale in ways that you've never previously grown and scaled before. It's a huge, huge, huge miracle that you get to experience inside of your business. The fourth thing is, I'm laughing as I read my note. When you have an ego, it just says, you fall flat on your face. Oh man, I feel like that is true. I feel like that is so true. There's been 2 times in my business this last year where I just didn't like what someone told me because I took it to mean that I was screwing up and there was something wrong with me, and that was not their intention, and that was not what they were trying to do. But I remember someone told me that my mindset mastermind really, my marketing wasn't necessarily working because I was just getting really good referral business. And I didn't want to believe that. I did not want to believe that. I wanted to believe that my marketing was working really, really good. And they were like, no, not really, because all the people that you have coming in are already a pretty hot, warm audience, which really means it's more referrals. And your offer is somewhat untested with a cold market. That was a hard, heavy dose of truth. And remember, the truth will set you free. The truth will help you, but you can't let your ego get in the way and make it mean anything about your lovability, your worth, your smartness, or all those other kind of pieces inside of your business. But I did. And the danger of that is it took me a little while to pivot and to accept it because I got butthurt because my ego got in the way, my insecurity got in the way. So don't do that. And then the second example that I can give you all that was almost a year ago at this point was when someone said, so your ads, I know you feel like I'm not doing the best job when it comes to qualifying people or getting people inside of your program. However, have you thought that maybe your ads are not hitting the right people and that it is the right offer, but wrong people? So it is just more challenging for me. That person was also right. But again, we don't like to admit when we're wrong. We don't like to admit when we're wrong morally. We don't like to admit when we are wrong in like our business, that it's not working and that there is something else we need to do. And the truth is, when you accept that it is working, but it can work better, and it's not working as well as you know it could, the sooner you can accept that and come to terms with that and figure out a different plan and try something new, the quicker it is for you to pivot and to experience new growth, new opportunities, new sales, new clients, all the things that you want inside of your business. And that's a really, really big blessing. So as someone who can have an ego, because I can be insecure, I want to encourage you all to be on the journey with me, to do your best to drop the ego, drop the insecurity. I get better every single day, and really let other people bless you. Let the truth set you free, and that will allow you to scale your business to new heights further, faster than you ever have before. And it will also protect your business from it collapsing internally, from jealousy, judgments, insecurity, and ego. Because nobody likes to work with leadership that is egotistical, insecure, jealous, or judgmental. Nobody wants to work with that kind of a leadership. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? If you all haven't watched the other episodes in this 5-part series, make sure you check back and see those other episodes. I will link to the very first episode in this series, which was the 4 stumbling blocks of emotions inside of your business. I love you all. Share this with someone who could use this encouragement, and we will see you in the next episode.